Hey everybody, it's Lindsay from All Ears, and I am here with a brand new video. Today I am at Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort for a full tour. We're going to check out some of the dining, we're going to check out the pool, the theming, and we're going to start out with that room. So I hope you're ready. I'm so excited for my staycation. This is a really pretty hotel. Let's get going. So when you arrive at Saratoga Springs, you will arrive at the carriage house, which is sort of the check-in area. You've got a porte cochere. This is also where you can find bag services if you need to check your bags when you arrive before your room is ready, or when you're leaving after you've had to check out and you're still headed to the parks. This is also where you'll find airport transportation and where your Lyft might drop you off and things like that. So it's just a short walk to the lobby. Like other Disney World Resort hotels, this one does offer the mobile check-in. So you can check in the My Disney Experience app before you arrive, and your room, once it's ready, will send you a push notification and a text, and you can head straight there. Now I did that like I always did, but it did mess up today and did not give me my room number by the time I got here, even though it's after check-in time. So I'm just gonna head in and ask a question at the front desk. As you can see, the lobby is very busy right now. There is a Run Disney event happening this weekend, and this hotel is hosting some of the runners, and then it's also just prime check-in time. So I've got a bit of a line to wait in before we can head to the room, but hopefully it won't take too long. Before I go get in line though, I am distracted because look how good Maximus looks in this painting. Actually, I love all of the horse paintings on the wall with iconic Disney horses, including Baby Pegasus. What a guy. And they're behind each of the check-in desks. So just keep in mind that you might be distracted by the horse painting while you're trying to talk to the cast members. Now, check-in at Disney World Resort hotels does start at 3 p.m. each day. When you do check in using the app, you can note what time you plan on arriving, and there's a chance your room will be ready early. That is not guaranteed though. Now, it is a little after 3 at this point, and my room is not ready, so there might have been something up with my check-in or a glitch with the system, so we can easily handle that with a cast member. But to check in, you can do it online, or you can do it traditionally with the desk, like I'm sure a lot of these guests are doing here. And while one member of your party checks in, there is plenty of seating and things like that. Saratoga Springs, as you might be able to tell, is themed around Victorian architecture with the historic influence of horse racing, as I'm sure you can tell by all the horse paintings, carousel references, things like that. It feels very classy, and the horses in the lobby are actually kind of more whimsical than I was expecting. Now, this is a Disney Vacation Club resort, but you do not have to be a Disney Vacation Club member to stay here. You can stay on cash just like any other Disney World resort. Those rooms are kind of pricey, but there's a few different levels. You can stay in a studio, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, or 3-bedroom villas, and there are even 60 tree houses available here. It took a little while, but I did get all checked in. There's a bit of a backup in there, and I've got my mini 50th room key to add to my room key collection. And now I can head to my room. They got me all set up. It was just a glitch in the system. I wasn't fully checked in, but the cast member was happy to help me, so I'm headed to my room. So I did drive here today, and if you drive, you can check in at the little check-in parking lot, but then you do need to move your car over to near your room, which you'll want to do anyway because it's a bit of a walk. I will let you know that it is $25 per night to park overnight at Saratoga Springs, just like any of the other deluxe and deluxe villa resort hotels, but that is waived for Disney Vacation Club members. All right, so I am going to hop in my car and we can drive right on over to the paddock, which shouldn't be too far away from here. We will walk this later so I can give you an idea of how long the walks around Saratoga Springs are, but for now, I'll see you in a minute after my very long, minute-long drive. All right, and we've arrived at the paddock. Now, typically, I can find my way around a Disney resort without much issue, but this one is rather confusing. I do actually recommend grabbing a map from the front desk when you arrive, or at least consulting one of the posted maps, just because it's pretty easy to get lost. I missed my turn. It was a stressful time for me. All right, and we're on the 3rd floor, so let's find it. Look at all the Mickeys in the railing. Horse lamp. Molly used to ride horses. So as you can tell, the rooms here do have all covered, all external hallways. So you won't get soaking wet while you're walking around, but you do walk right out into an external enclosed hallway. But we have found our room. So I got a room key, so that's what I'm gonna use. You can also use your Magic Band or your My Disney Experience app as your room key. Yep, your phone can do it. It's crazy. Well, let's check out our deluxe studio here at Saratoga Springs. Oh, this is a nice room. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh, Look at the view. This is an absolutely beautiful room. So let's take a look around. Let's get off to the races. And what do they say at the beginning of a horse race? Go!
Yeah!
All right, so right when you walk in, you're gonna notice this room is a lot bigger than your typical hotel room. You've got kind of like a little entryway space, little kitchenette on your right, and then on your left is the bathroom. Through that door is the toilet and shower room. Moving on into the room, you've got a pretty sizable space in general in here. Tons of floor space. This room kind of wowed me with how big it is, and also I love the decorations, and I'm not much of a horse person, but they're super cute. Now the main thing that caught my eye when I walked in, and I want to start with looking at, is our view. We do have a beautiful water view here. The room categories at Saratoga Springs are not done by view category, they're done by room type, but most rooms at Saratoga Springs do look out over water. And here you can see a beautiful sunset. Already, it's only 5:30. We are on the 3rd floor, so we have this pretty beautiful view. It's a very peaceful night. I honestly could see myself sitting out here. It's also cool, and we've got 2 chairs out here with a little table, perfect for lounging, and a solid amount of space here too, so plenty of space to come out and have a nice morning coffee or anything like that, and look out at the beautiful, serene Saratoga Springs Resort. I will note a lot of the resort rooms here do look out over the golf course, so that's kind of cool. I don't know anything about golf, but I do know that you're trying to put the golf ball into the hole in under a certain amount of strokes, which I guess I do know a little bit about golf. I played Wii golf, so I think I'd enjoy sitting out and looking over the golf course as well, but of course this lake is gorgeous, so this is a good spot. Now, as I mentioned, your rooms aren't categorized by view, they're categorized by room type. So we are in the least expensive room here at Saratoga Springs Resort. This is a deluxe studio. This resort also offers 1, 2, and 3 bedroom villas and 60 tree houses. So that's pretty neat. So let's get into the nitty gritty before it gets too dark. So right when you enter, you'll spot that you've got your door, obviously, with your locks and everything. There is a connecting door here. I am, of course, staying by myself, so I'm not using a connecting room, but you do have that option if you'd like it. Of course, you can also get 2 3-bedroom studios, so that's another option for you here as well. There's a full-length mirror, so you can see me do this. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. And a coat hanger. Right here by your entrance, you've got a kitchenette. Now, all other room types at the resort besides this studio feature a full kitchen and in-room laundry. This room doesn't. You can find laundry near the pools, but it does have a kitchenette with more amenities than a typical Disney World hotel room. You've got cabinetry up above that right now has disposable dishes and silverware and things like that in here. Now, they used to supply dishes, but with the current health situation, they are disposable. If you do need something in particular, you can request it from the front desk. You've got your standard ice box, and then you have a few things that are very exciting in my opinion. We've got paper towel, which is great, but there's also a can opener and a wine opener, which you can't find in most rooms, but that's awesome. I know I've been stuck in a hotel room without a wine opener. And then a microwave. I know a lot of hotels that aren't Disney hotels do feature microwaves in the room. Disney hotels typically do not, so this is a huge bonus. Queen of leftovers speaking, and I personally need to microwave my food all the time, so I'm loving that. And then you've also got a toaster, which is exciting. Talk about a grab-and-go breakfast like plus. This is a big bonus. A full coffee machine, so no one singular cups for you. I also think full coffee machines tend to make better tasting coffee. And then you've got all your coffee supplies and tea supplies that you might need for making your hot beverages. The kitchen also has a little bebe sink, which has hand soap as well as a sponge and washcloth. And then below the sink, there's a little bit of cabinet space, which just has a fire extinguisher, but might be a good spot to house something if you are storing food or anything like that besides out of the cabinets. Mini fridge wise, we have a big mini fridge here. This is still a mini fridge, but it's pretty sizable. You've got room for cans and room in the door for things. Lots of space in that actual fridge. So if you're staying for a little while and you want to grab a limited amount of groceries, they would definitely fit in here, but no freezer. The next stop is the mystery door, which is locked, and I heard sound coming from it earlier. So I think it's like a boiler or an AC unit. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, it's in there. Probably an AC unit since there's not one anywhere else in the room. That's my guess. Mystery room that you can't unlock, just like in a haunted house. but this room isn't haunted. The studio rooms do feature a queen bed and then a trundle bed right here, which we will pull down in just a second. Keep in mind that the rooms at this resort do sleep between 4 and 12 people depending on the size. So you can sleep a lot of people in those 3-bedroom villas, which is part of the reason why they are so pricey. Speaking of pricey, rates do vary at this hotel, and your rooms will be a little more expensive if you go for a preferred category. But in general, deluxe studios tend to cost between $430 and $800. 1-bedroom villas tend to cost between $580 and $1,120. 2-bedroom villas tend to cost between $830 and $1,830. Tree houses tend to cost between $1,040 to $1,940. And 3-bedroom grand villas tend to cost between $1,790 to around $3,170. And that's all per night. So we're looking at some pricey rooms at this hotel. I will say this is an amazing space, and if you get it for that value price, I do think it's a bit of a steal, but keep an eye out for special offers. If you're DVC, of course you will be using points. One thing to keep in mind is that if you are not DVC and you want to rent at a DVC resort, you can consider renting DVC points and using those. There are a couple of sites that will allow you to do this, and you can learn a lot more about it on allears.net. So head on over there if you want to learn about renting DVC points. So our main bed here has this beautiful headboard. It's a little like grandma, but in a fabulous way. I want that headboard, and I just think it would look great in my room. You've got 2 bedside tables here, and each one does have 2 drawers with a little bit of space in them for anything that you might want to keep near you while you sleep. These lamps have outlets built in. What do I always say? Telltale sign of a refurbished room is when there are outlets in the lamps and furniture. And your phone is, of course, here as well. The bed has 4 pillows on it, 2 of which you will probably want to move to the trundle if you are sleeping more than 2 people in here. There is an extra pillow in the closet, but there's not really like a ton of pillows in here, so you can always request more if you'd like them. Above the bed, we have this adorable art. Again, I really like the theme here. I think it is classy, but it actually still does have the Disney touches that I like that cute Mickey ears riding helmet. That is so adorable. All right, then we've got the trundle bed area. So you've got this crate that serves as a coffee table, and this thing really threw me for a loop here. Check this out. So what this effectively does is it makes for a higher table, which could be helpful if you're in the bed, on the couch, or even in the trundle. And it has added storage space in there. So this is a very neat thing. I will say it is certainly a pinching hazard. I have a little trouble getting it closed, and I don't want any little ones pinching their fingers. So maybe don't let the kiddos mess with the magic crate. Because, see, I can't even get it closed now. Let's, of course, check out this couch, which I actually really like. I like that green color. I know that's kind of a weird color, but I like it. Let's check out how comfy it is, because we know that the trundle couches don't always do the job. Sofa science. Okay, pretty comfy. I mean, I wouldn't want to sleep on this sofa. I don't know why you would. There's a trundle bed, but it's definitely comfortable enough to watch TV. One thing that I'm not sure I love about this room is that the dresser and the TV are directly in front of the trundle and sofa, which is great. But if you keep both beds down and mom and dad want to watch from the main bed, it's kind of an awkward angle. So I don't love that, but obviously I don't think that's really a deal breaker here. We will open that trundle up in just a second, but let's keep going. There's more room to see. So curtains wise, you've got your privacy curtain here. Although I will say this room is not one that I feel as needed with the privacy curtain during the day, at least, just because I am on the 3rd floor. There's a path down below, but the angle is a little weird to try to look in here. So it's actually a pretty private room without the privacy curtain. And then, of course, you have blackout curtains, the prime tool for any napper. To get out on the balcony, you've got 2 little locks here, and I have tested them. They are pretty easy to not lock yourself out with. So been out here a couple times now, and I have not locked myself out. So good for me. All right, now that I'm out here again, I just want to bask in the beauty. Just hearing that running water, it's like releasing endorphins. So tranquil. Also, I will note that it was super crazy busy when I checked in, and yet I can only really see people across the lake. It's still a super quiet resort, in my opinion, at least in my part of the resort. So still seems pretty quiet to me. We'll have to see if I notice any noise during the rest of my stay. The moon! Can you see it? Look at that. There's 1 star. There's no 2nd star to the right. So we can't go straight on till morning yet, but maybe we just have to wait till it gets a little darker out. And I know it's a planet. Don't come for me. I know my astronomy. Moment of truth. You don't know what I'm referencing. I did lock myself on the balcony at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, but I didn't do it here. Otherwise, in this room, you've got your TV, you've got your dresser. This is a very large dresser, but the drawers aren't super deep. So they're pretty sizable drawers still. They're just not as deep as some that I see. Your TV, which has cable channels and everything. You've got your take-along guide to the magic, notes about the enhanced cleaning in the rooms, and then of course your sanitized TV remote. Finally, in the main area, you've got this really cool big mirror. This is another thing I like. I want this mirror and that headboard in my house. You also have this bench here, which is great for getting ready, but it's also great to use as a luggage rack, and it's got its own storage in it. While we're on the ground, we can take a look at the recycling bin and pan around here for the under bed storage. So under the main bed, there's a significant amount of storage. You won't find the same under the trundle bed though, because that couch will fold up right under it once we pull it down. Controllable thermostat to presumably control the AC unit that is behind the mystery door, whether or not that's true. And then we're onto the bathroom area. So on your right here, you've got a closet. It's pretty big. So talk about storage space in this room. This closet in and of itself is pretty sizable. You've got an extra pillow and blanket here, which I assume you're gonna want with the trundle bed in use. Hangers, ironing board, your usual safe for your valuables, and then plot twist, there's a whole vacuum in here, which is interesting. Now, if you are staying here via cash, then you will get regular housekeeping just like you normally would. If you are staying with DVC points, you don't get regular housekeeping. So that's probably why there's that vacuum cleaner in here. Mirror, pretty big. Not the biggest I've seen, and the lighting actually isn't great in here. That's a complaint I have, because you've got this overhead light, so if you're trying to do makeup, not great. There is this though, and the day I find a hotel room that doesn't have this is the day I will be sad. Lots of vanity space, but it is a single sink, so 1 person in the sink at a time, but there's a good amount of space for if you need to put things on the vanity. You've also got facial soap and body lotion for your use, as well as some hand towels and some tissue. Another plot twist in this room is that there are drawers under the sink, which I don't usually see, so even more storage for us to find, including the place to keep the hairdryer. And under the sink, you've got some spare towels, toilet paper, and tissue, just in case you need it. All right, now it's time to head into the largest commode room of all time. It's so big! There's so much room for activities. So this room features your commode, your trash can, towel rods and racks and things like that for your towels, actually a good amount of them. And then you've got your shower. The shower does have this beautiful tile wall, and it is a glass door shower, sliding glass door. You've got your towel mat, and then you do have the refillable Disney toiletries here, so body wash, conditioner, and shampoo. These are refilled between guest stays. And you've got a shelf in case you bring any of your own toiletries, plus a nice shower. Let's see what the pressure's like, shall we? Got that wide shower head, so good amount of pressure coming down from this. And that's pretty much the whole room, except, of course, for bed science. To properly do bed science, we're gonna need more than 1 bed. That means it's trundle time, baby. Look how dark it is. Winter is crazy. So process here for getting the trundle bed out. We need to move the crate. We need to move the trundle bed down, and that'll be good. It'll all be out. So, you know what that means? Redecorating montage. And second bed activated. So there's the trundle. This one's actually pretty easy to get down. There are wheels on the crate. It wasn't that hard to pull down. And I tossed the 2 pillows on from the other bed. With most Disney trundles, you'll have these adorable little prints on the back walls of them. I love this one. Again, all the cartoon horses around this resort just make me want to cry tears of joy. So that's adorable. And then you've got your trundle bed, which kind of looks, I don't know, does this look more inviting than the usual trundles? This isn't a trundle, this is a Murphy bed. I've been saying trundle this whole time and you didn't even tell me?
Sorry.
Also, might I just point out, Rope Mickey. Love him. All right, now I got 2 beds. Bed 1, bed 2. Both need to get bed scienced. And let's see how comfy it is. Horse bed science with Quincy. Ooh, nay! Oh. This is a pretty comfy bed. I think it is a standard Murphy bed, although I almost feel like this mattress is a little higher quality than some of the ones I felt on Murphy beds. It feels like it's got more give to it. It's not coming up to support my back. Plus it's got the Disney pillows, so I can't complain. Now for the regular bed, fingers crossed, it's as comfy as a Disney bed always is. Ready? Hut! Oh yeah, okay. When you do them one after the other, this one's definitely comfier. So mom and dad, take this one, put the kids on the Murphy bed. Not that you were going to not do that anyway, but just pretend this is like a fun secret I told you. If you're staying with friends though, I really don't think that anyone is gonna complain on that Murphy bed. It's pretty comfy. It is much comfier than a sofa bed. This, of course, is comfy. As usual, I could fall asleep right now. We gotta test the pillows because I am nothing if not in love with Disney pillows. Oh, they're so comfy. Leave me be, I'm going to bed now. Just kidding. I'm not, I'm getting up. All right, and that's the room. And I know what you're thinking. Quincy, it is way too dark for you to show us the rest of Saratoga Springs. And you are right. But here's the plan. I am gonna go grab a quick dinner at the Turf Club Lounge. We're gonna eat some buffalo chicken dip. I'm very excited. And then tomorrow, how am I spending my staycation? But with a resort day, and then we'll head to Disney Springs after to wrap it up. So we'll get to see that boat transportation. We'll get to see all of Saratoga Springs, but we'll do it in the morning. So let's head to the Turf Club. All right, and a quick walk over, we've arrived at the Turf Club Bar and Grill. So this is actually Saratoga Springs table service restaurant, but it also has a lounge offering. We're visiting the lounge offering tonight. Jockey uniforms on the wall, keeping up with that horse theme. But this restaurant typically serves dinner. They're seating inside and outside. It's found inside the carriage house right near Artist Palette. And it offers a nice lounge too that has a billiard table with casual seating and a large screen TV. So could be a good place to watch your favorite sports games. And that's where we're heading tonight. Here you can see the lounge menu. Creamy buffalo chicken dip, I am coming for you. Now, unfortunately, the Turf Club has yet to reopen from its closure in 2020. Hopefully it will open soon. I've actually never eaten there, but Molly has told me it's one of her underrated favorites, so I would love to eat there, so we'll keep an eye out for it. Keep an eye on allears.net to find out when Turf Club does get a reopening date. Another thing to note is that that billiards table has been removed from Turf Club Lounge, so if you're coming to play pool, you're going to be out of luck for a little while, but potentially that will return one day. We'll keep an eye out for it too. Look at all these cool old board game boards on the wall. There's chess or checkers, backgammon, which is one of my favorites, and I'm not sure what this is, but it kind of looks like Easy Jumanji. So right now, if you check out the menu here at the Turf Club Lounge, you're gonna get the standard Disney Lounge menu. Here's the kicker. There are some specialty drinks at Saratoga Springs that they only serve here that are not on that menu. So make sure that you ask your bartender, your cast member, what those specialty drinks are. He just told me to tell him what liquor I like, and then he told me that he would give me some options. So I told him anything clear is great. So I snagged the Millionaire Margarita, which is a Saratoga Springs specialty. You can get it here at Turf Club Lounge as well as at the pool bars. It's made with 1800 Reposado tequila, Grand Marnier, lime juice, and sweet and sour. So nice, tasty margarita mix. I'm excited to try it out. My buffalo chicken dip is coming out momentarily. Let's try out the margarita in the meantime. It's a pretty tasty margarita. It's got a good amount of flavor to it. I can taste the sweet and sour. I can taste the Grand Marnier. I can taste the lime, of course. And I can even taste that tequila, so it's pretty tasty. They do a lot of really great bourbon drinks here too, so if that's your jam, that might be something to look into. All right, my buffalo chicken dip has arrived. Molly recommended this to me, and oh boy, is she good to me. Look at this buffalo chicken dip. Look at the blue cheese. So this is the creamy buffalo chicken dip with spicy buffalo ranch sauce and Saratoga chips, which of course are the resident chips of this resort. Oh, it looks so good. I can't wait to try it. Oh yeah. I'm so excited. So good. There's so much beautiful shredded chicken in there. A crazy amount of buffalo flavor. If you do not like buffalo, do not get this. Oh, it's so good. And there's the perfect amount of blue cheese to it. The best part though, my actual standout, is that it's got these fresh, crisp scallions on top that are green scallions, but they're not the super wilty parts. And they are adding this like beautiful green, fresh crunch and flavor. And then the spicy ranch on top is amazing too. I'm gonna try a chip on its own. These are good. These are good by themselves. Super, super crispy. And you can taste the oil without it tasting unhealthy, like is the case with a lot of homemade potato chips. Fair warning, morning. It's also got a little bit of heat. And I would say that this is shareable if you're getting other appetizers, but if, like me, you're having dinner by yourself and you're getting buffalo chicken dip for dinner, then I would say it's not shareable. And I'm glad no one's here to share it with me because I want it all. All right, the queen of leftovers is leaving without leftovers because I ate all my buffalo chicken dip. It's pretty late now. I think I'm gonna go head to bed so that we can get up and have an awesome resort day and Disney Springs day together. I'm super excited because I love this resort and Disney Springs. So I'll see you then. Good morning. All right, time for our resort day. I'm pumped. I know what you're thinking.
Lindsay, if you're having a resort day, why aren't you in your room, hanging out on that cool balcony?
Because there are things to see, people. There's so much exploring we gotta do. So I'm up, I'm out of the room, and it's time to look around. Let's go. So first things first, map of the resort. This resort is huge. Here's where we are. We're in this building here in the paddock. But there are also 5 other locations, including the treehouse villas over here. The main sort of central area that you want to be concerned about is right here, which is the carriage house check-in, and then the dining, the food, the shopping, amenities, all that is going to be right here in this area, here in the Springs, which isn't too far from us. Another thing that you want to be like paying attention to is right here, the walkway to Disney Springs, which also provides boat transportation from here and here. So lots to see, tons of bus stops. We'll talk about that too. And yeah, let's get walking. And before you judge me, yes, I am wearing the same shirt I wore yesterday, but I don't know how to pack for the cold. And it was way colder than I was expecting today. And this is my only sweater. So sorry, this is what we got. So checkout at Saratoga Springs works much like it does at all the other Disney World Resort hotels. Checkout is automatic at 11 a.m. If you need a checkout, you can call and request a late checkout of 12, but that's not guaranteed. You might not be able to get it. So 11 a.m. is your safe bet. You will be automatically checked out. Your bill will be emailed to you in the morning, and if everything looks correct there, you can just go ahead and skip the front desk and head on out to the theme park or your car or whatever you might want to be doing. So this resort is so big. It's also really easy to get lost. I've walked approximately 3 places and I've already almost gotten lost like 166 times. That might be an exaggeration, but have you ever known me to exaggerate? Wow, that's a lot of ducks. Look at its little head. Those aren't like regular ducks. Saratoga Springs is a little bit atypical. You'll notice that it's a lot more sprawling than many of the resorts. The rooms are pretty large, and it is a Disney Vacation Club resort, but the rooms are like pretty, I mean, they feel like apartments, and that's because they kind of were in a way. Basically, before Saratoga Springs was Saratoga Springs, it was something called the Disney Institute, which is an idea implemented by former Disney CEO Michael Eisner, where instead of taking a traditional vacation, people could take a vacation learning hybrid situation where you come here and take courses and develop yourself professionally while staying in resort style living and eating on the resort plan and things like that. Definitely an interesting concept. Didn't really pan out. There wasn't a lot of interest for it. And so they ended up closing the program, or the main campus for the program, in 2003. And they built Saratoga Springs smack dab on top of it as the 7th Disney Vacation Club resort in Disney World. Or maybe everywhere. There are internal bus stops here at Saratoga Springs, so you will have a bus stop close to your room. And there is an internal shuttle, which is actually right here right now, conveniently, that you can take around just the different stops in Saratoga Springs. And that way you don't have to walk miles and miles and miles to get your lunch at Artist Palette. I think we're gonna go look in the lobby. I know we were in there yesterday, but maybe we missed something. Check-in was a blur, you know what I mean? Certainly a lot more peaceful in here than yesterday. Saw this. Okay, so we've got this seating area, which we didn't really come explore because there were so many people in here. But I could hang out. I could do some work in here. Look, there's outlets in the tables. Fancy. I actually really like the art in this resort. Now, since this is a pretty popular Disney Vacation Club resort, you will see a couple areas where you can learn about the Disney Vacation Club. This is one of them right here in the lobby. And this is the Artist Palette, which is the main quick service location here at Saratoga Springs. So Artist Palette is something of a catch-all. It's going to be an eatery plus merchandise, and actually grocery as well. This is a Disney Vacation Club resort. A lot of these suites do have full kitchens, so there are groceries available. Just keep in mind they might come at a bit of a premium. If you can do your shopping in a regular grocery store, you might be a little happier with the price. Now the dining portion of the Artist Palette is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Today it was open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. And they've got a lot of stuff. They've got prepackaged and fresh made foods, salads, soups, sandwiches, flatbreads, desserts. Plenty of things to satisfy you. Artist Palette is going to be pretty similar merchandise-wise to most other Disney World Resort stores. It's on the small side, it's not very large, but you can find most things you need as well as some Disney merchandise, essentials. And there is some Saratoga Springs specific merch as well, which is actually pretty snazzy. I like a lot of this stuff. Sometimes the resort merch I'm like, eh. But like, look at this one. That's cool. Oh, there's even more Saratoga Springs merch over here. I tend to notice that the Disney Vacation Club resorts have a little bit more resort-specific merchandise, and that's just because more people tend to have like a connection to this resort because it is their home resort on the Disney Vacation Club. Now there's not a ton of seating in here, but there is seating outside, and you can of course take your food over to the pool deck or any of the tables that are out there too. So pretty significant grocery section here. I'm not sure I've ever seen Campbell's soup, but there's Campbell's chicken noodle soup right there. Lots of teas and things like that, and then you've got even a whole freezer section with frozen veggies and meals that you can just make in your sweet kitchen. Almond milk, and then a bakery case, which is pretty great. Okay, hear me out. I know I haven't had anything else to eat today, but this cupcake is sort of exclusive to this resort, so I think that I need to try it. Depending on the time of day, you'll find breakfast and lunch offerings. Right now they switch over to lunch, and they've got like heartier meals like the lemon tarragon half chicken, and then they've got pizzas, including a margarita pizza. That sounds good. Plus some classics like chicken strips for the kids. Bullseye cupcake, here I come. Presenting the Bullseye cupcake. Chocolate cupcake filled with peanut butter mousse, topped with chocolate and peanut butter buttercream, and a Bullseye white chocolate coin. He is perhaps the cutest sidekick in all of Disney movies. Here's the inside with that peanut butter mousse. As you can see, I destroyed the cupcake trying to get this nice cross for you. My hand is covered in peanut butter and chocolate. This is a pretty tasty cupcake. I'm not a huge chocolate lover, and that's because I don't have a huge sweet tooth, but I do love peanut butter. I love peanut butter treats like this, so that mound of peanut butter buttercream, the peanut butter mousse inside is right up my alley. When I tried it out, the peanut butter buttercream was super sweet, and I was like, oh no. Because the super sweet peanut butter buttercream, you've got a super sweet chocolate cake with chocolate popping crunchies. It'll pop there as crunchy. But the mousse is actually not really sweet. It kind of just tastes like peanut butter in mousse form. So it kind of helps to balance the cupcake. I do think it's a little bit sweet for me if you're not a huge like super sweet, super chocolatey fan. I might skip this one, but if you like peanut butter, if you're craving something sweet, if you like sweeter treats, this is pretty good. I think if you're staying at Saratoga Springs, it might be worth trying just because it's exclusive to the resort. You can't really get it anywhere else. So maybe it wasn't the best brunch item, but what cupcake is a good brunch item? Don't eat cupcakes for brunch, kids. Wait till you're grown up to do that. And you'll see this back exit of Artist Palette does lead right out to the hallway where we went to the Turf Club last night. So pretty easy to find. And that's all located, all connected to the lobby in the carriage house. So the pool is called High Rock Springs, which is pretty appropriate because there are these high rocks. Yeah. And it's at Saratoga Springs. So that's a pretty great pool name if you ask me. Always, always, always keep an eye out for recreation boards when you are at your Disney World Resort Hotel. This one is actually a special one. It's for the 50th, and it looks like Saratoga Springs has special s'mores kits. Look at those fancy s'mores. That would be a really fun way to end the day. So I think we're gonna head on down there and check out the pool because this is the main pool here at Saratoga Springs, although it's not the only pool. There are a lot of pools at this resort. Before we head down though, quick stop right here next to the main lobby, which is where you'll find Senses, a Disney spa. So unfortunately, Senses is temporarily closed, but there is a fitness center here in this location, 24-hour access. You just use your card. They've got plenty of machines and things like that for you to be able to work out on right here. Very big amenity. Not all Disney World resorts have fitness centers. So High Rock Springs Pool is one of 4 pools here at Saratoga Springs. It is the largest. It's the most central. It's right by the lobby. And it's got a water slide, and actually a little water slide too, which I really like. This pool is also where you'll find On the Rocks Pool Bar, which is a pretty standard Disney pool bar. They've got a lot of options though, plenty of specialty drinks like the Bourbon Breeze, Blueberry Lemonade, Poolside Iced Tea. Those all sound good. These are all standard Disney World pool bar drinks. I especially like the sound of the cucumber mint mojito. That's because I've had it many times and it's delicious. You can get that at many lounges around Disney World. But they've got a large liquor selection, a beer selection as well. So some non-alcoholic options and a few grab and go entrees if you want to get your snack on while you're at the pool. The pool also has 2 hot tubs and they're pretty serene. This one especially is like right by this waterfall. It's sort of off to the side. So that one looks pretty nice. If I were not so busy exploring, maybe I'd relax in a hot tub for a little while. The pool also has a kids area and 0 entry, although there is a little bit of construction going on around the kids area right now. So always be warned that construction can pop up during your stay. This stretch here is actually my favorite part of Saratoga Springs. Even though it's right here on the street, it looks a lot like you're just kind of walking down like this old-timey street side, which I really enjoy. And there's a lot of amenities here too. This first spot is Horsing Around Rentals, which is where you can rent Surrey bikes, which is super exciting. This is a huge resort, so making a nice Surrey bike ride is a good way for your family to spend your resort day. They have other bike rentals as well, just regular bikes. So super fun. You can see the bike rental prices there per 30 minutes for the Surrey bikes and per 60 for the regular bikes. Oh, and per day, they have per day pricing on the bikes. I might do that if I were doing a resort day to get around. Could have done that today. Next stop is Community Hall. Community halls are pretty standard find at Disney Vacation Club resorts. They usually offer resort amenities. You do not have to be a Disney Vacation Club member to use those amenities. This one is open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. This is where we can find the s'mores kit we saw. And there's some other stuff too. Let's pop in and see. Disney Plus plan. Video games. Arts and crafts and things like that. And even magnets that you can design. The community halls are a super cool amenity and certainly a stop to make if you're having a resort day at Saratoga Springs. This one had a lot of free crafts when I went in. There are a few unpaid activities like Mickey tie-dye, and there's just all sorts of stuff you can do. There were ears, people had made ears, that was so cute. And like you watch a movie, it might be a good place to drop off the kiddos. If your kiddos are over 12, they can also go hang out in the community center without supervision, so that's pretty neat if mom and dad want to do something without the kids or kids want to play some video games for a while. So I don't know, I'd hang out in the community hall if I were a kid. There is guest laundry available here, and remember, cards are taken at the laundry machines, and there's even an app that can text you when your laundry is done. Let's go this way. All right, so everything we just passed on the other side, there are entrances on this back side too. Here is where you'll find a fire pit, which is probably a good place to use that s'mores kit if you want to snag it. Like other Disney World hotels, this one does have the Win Place or Show Arcade. This one's only open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. A lot of hotels have 24-hour arcades. But it's pretty sizable. Lots of fun games going on in here. And there's some game tables out here for bumper pool and regular pool, which you can get the supplies for. You can borrow it from inside Community Hall, where we just were. Foosball. I'm back in the pool area, where it looks like they're playing some fun games with Disney Recreation, which is super fun. According to my notes, there's a hidden store. Maybe it's not hidden, but I can't find it. We're gonna find it. Hidden store mystery, let's go. So one reason you might choose Saratoga Springs is if you are a golfer or your family is golfers, because Saratoga Springs is situated on a golf course, which is awesome, great amenity, and that is a hint to our secret store. There's a beautiful outdoor patio for the 6th floor lounge. It was pretty neat. Remember, that is closed, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll reopen sometime soon. Might be open in time for you to take a visit here. Under the Turf Club, you can find check-in for the Lake Buena Vista Golf Course, which is the golf course that Saratoga Springs is situated on. And just this way, we can find our secret store. I found a sign for it. The Golf Pro Shop. Haha, I found it. And the golf cart rental. I found it all. So many secrets down here. So Chippendales Cafe is actually part of the Golf Pro Shop, but they've got lots of snacks and things. You don't have to be golfing to grab them, of course, but it's a secret spot. It's not even on the maps, so you can find that down here. And here's that Golf Pro Shop where you can purchase golf apparel and equipment. You can rent clubs, you can rent golf carts, anything that you might need for a day of golfing, you can find it right over here. And you can see the sprawling Lake Buena Vista Golf Course right across this little waterway here. Speaking of waterway, it's a boat. This backside of the main lobby building is where you'll find the boat to Disney Springs. I will be taking this later, so we'll see just how long the water taxi takes to get over to Disney Springs. You can also take this if you're staying in the Treehouse Villas to get to and from the lobby, which is pretty snazzy and helpful. But we will be hopping aboard later to see just how fast we can get over to Disney Springs. Boats are my favorite form of transportation. Now, if you are interested in teeing up for golfing at Disney, it is highly recommended to book your tee time in advance. They can fill up. You can do that by calling 407-WDW-GOLF, Walt Disney World Golf. So do that if you want to golf, just in case. Better to be safe than sorry. Another big perk to staying at DVC resorts, whether you're DVC or not, is that they do tend to have sport courts, which is awesome for longer stays, for getting a little exercise in. If you're DVC, you've got one of those suites for a while, you might want to go kill some time and play some ball with your kiddos or with each other. And you can find those right over here, back around by the Disney Springs boat. Specifically, Saratoga Springs has tennis, basketball, and shuffleboard courts. You can see here they are full size, super fun days with them, and there are equipment rentals, which you can inquire about at Community Hall. I am going to be honest, this is certainly one of the more confusing resorts layout-wise, but it's not too bad because you can certainly find maps pretty much every 30 steps, which is awesome because I have needed them. A very unique amenity here at Saratoga Springs is the Disney Vacation Club Preview Center. They've got these at a few of the other Disney Vacation Club resorts, but this is where you can learn a lot about what you get with Disney Vacation Club, what your new home away from home might look like, and you can of course ask all the questions you might need to ask. Most of these feature Riviera Resort pretty heavily. Maybe we should tour that one soon. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Okay, I see where I am. Interesting. What's this fountain? I was hoping it would be Disney characters, but it just looks like it's weird, scary fish. That's okay though. It's still nice and serene. You guys want to know, I actually thought it was the Three Little Pigs from a distance. And I think maybe I need to get my eyes checked. Good news, I found this running trail sign that shows us what the running trail is. It goes around the whole resort. There's two options. You can either do the 0.8 mile trail or you can extend it to 1.4 miles. So I will say this resort is very scenic and the pathways are nice and wide, so great for running. All right, I've talked a little bit about this, but let's get some hands-on experience with the wild layout of this resort. So you've got 5 areas. There's the Springs, which is where I was, and I think am, Congress Park, the Paddock, the Carousel, and the Grandstand. You can see right here, this is the bus stop for the Springs. There are 5 internal bus stops here at Saratoga Springs. All of the theme park buses, Disney Springs buses, and the internal shuttle will stop at all 5 stops. So while that is convenient that you don't have to walk all the way to the main bus stop to get anywhere, do keep in mind that that could mean longer wait times to get to the parks. You're gonna wanna budget in a little time on those internal stops. We're gonna take the bus a little bit later just to see how long those internal bus stops take, especially so that you know how you're not gonna miss rope drop if you're at Saratoga Springs. It's important to know how long those internal stops take. Every time I talk about this resort to Breedlove, he says something weird about how it used to be Disney Institute. He's always like really excited about it. I don't think anyone else was excited about Disney Institute, and hence why it closed. So maybe Breedlove could have single-handedly saved it, and then we wouldn't have Saratoga Springs. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm passing the bike rental again, and I just seriously considered renting a bike because I'm about to do a little loop of the resort to show you more of the layout and a couple of like secrets that you can find in each of the sections. But it's a really big resort. It's like ridiculously hard to walk between the different sections because it's so far. So I'll keep you updated on how long things take. I was gonna get a bike, but I guess it's better info for you to know how long the walking is. But a bike would have been nice and helpful. So we're now headed into Congress Park to check out the pool area over here. This resort is pretty pleasant to walk around. Now it is a nicer day. It's like 70 degrees probably and sunny. If it were raining or August and 100 degrees, this would not be pleasant. So it's certainly something to keep in mind. Now you can, if you have bags or anything or mobility issues, you can certainly ask cast members around the lobby area if anyone's available to give you a ride over in a golf cart, but in most cases, you're gonna be walking. I know that yesterday to get around, I used my car. I would drive from the lobby to the building because it is just such an extensive walk, even at the Paddock where we weren't that far from the lobby. Whew. Getting my cardio in today, fellas. All right, one thing about Congress Park is that many of the rooms have views of the water and Disney Springs, which is pretty awesome. Although I will say you can hear some of the Disney Springs music from over here. Probably not from in the rooms, but you never know. There is this really cute playground. In most cases, Disney World Resort hotels do not have playgrounds that are themed to the resorts, and I'm not sure this one technically is, but it looks pretty close to it, so I love this. This is super cute. And that's right near the Congress Park pool area. So this is the first of the other pools here at Saratoga Springs. You can see it's a pretty small pool. It's got stone frogs flanking it, which is adorable. Lots of sunny chairs for people to relax in. You can also find bathrooms over here. And you'll also note that you can find a little grill over here too. So grills are a pretty big staple at DVC resorts. Grilling out can be a really fun thing to do on your resort day in the evening, so that is an option here. Saratoga Springs is so close to Disney Springs. You can see the Sassagoula riverboats coming from Saratoga Springs, as well as the Port Orleans resorts. And then you can see the full length of Disney Springs when you get over here by the water. There is a kind of strange bonus to Saratoga Springs too. You get a one-of-a-kind view of the Amphicars, which are the car boats that you can rent rides on or book rides on from Disney Springs. This little family looks like they're getting a nice drive by. Those people are probably getting a really good view of Saratoga Springs, but I don't know. It's pretty rare that I get to see the Amphicars from like actually fully in the water, besides when they first kick off over by the boathouse in Disney Springs. So if I were not exploring right now, I'd grab a seat in one of these chairs, watch the Amphicars cruise by. I could live with that. Incidentally enough, the path we're on here by the water is also the walking path to Disney Springs. If you can't find it, you just need to head towards where you see the balloon in the sky and find the water, and then just turn left from Saratoga Springs and you'll be at Disney Springs in about 5 minutes from the furthest point of Saratoga Springs. Now keep in mind that 5 minutes is from the furthest building, the closest to Disney Springs, over here in Congress Park. If you are over in the paddock, if you're over in the Springs, that walk is going to be a lot longer than 5 minutes. It's probably taken me about 15 minutes to walk over here, maybe even 20, and I have a pretty fast pace. So just keep in mind that walk can be a little longer depending on where you are, but if you are this close to Disney Springs, then it is just 5 minutes from the actual resort to Rainforest Cafe, everyone's favorite spot. That was sarcasm. I'm not actually the biggest fan of Rainforest Cafe, but there are lots of spots in Disney Springs that I am the biggest fan of. Even with the Turf Club closed right now, and just the Turf Club Lounge and the Artist Palette as the options, Saratoga Springs actually still kind of wins from a dining perspective because of all the dining you can get just a short walk, boat ride, or bus ride away at Disney Springs. So we're heading back over to where our room was, over at the paddock, to check out the pool over there. So let's talk a little bit about the perks here. You've got free transportation to and from the theme parks, Disney Springs, all around Disney World, with the buses, the boats. You've got that awesome proximity to Disney Springs with the walking path, and you have free parking at the theme parks. Most of those are standard Disney perks besides that walking path that you can get at every Disney World Resort hotel. Helps to justify the higher price just a little bit than you might pay if you stay off property. More Disney World Resort hotel perks. You also get early theme park entry of 30 minutes to whichever park you have the Disney Park Pass for the day. You also get extended park hours here at Saratoga Springs. This is a deluxe resort, a deluxe DVC suite style resort. So you do get those extended theme park hours on select dates. You can check those out on your My Disney Experience app or on the Disney World website to see when extended hours are available to you. But that's a really big perk since only deluxe resort guests get those. And of course, the Disney dining plan is set to return at some point. We're not sure when, Disney is yet to announce, but when it does, that will be an option to you here as well. Now, talking about specific pros to this resort, you've got that Disney Springs walking path I mentioned. The proximity to Disney Springs in general is a major perk, especially when it comes to dining. You've got lots of great pools. There are a lot of pools here. Many of them have slides, which is, I mean, usually you can only find like one slide at a Disney World hotel, so if you're into slides, good news for you. And then there's also pretty great rooms here. They're sizable, they're nice and well designed. You are paying for them, it's expensive, but they are pretty nice rooms. I had a really nice stay. The bed was just as comfy as always, especially with those Disney pillows that I am obsessed with. And of course, this resort is great for golfers. If you're a golfer, you'd be hard pressed to find a resort that beats this one. It's situated right on the LBV golf course. You've got the Golf Pro store. You've got all the rentals you need. It's a pretty great position if you are into golfing. So cons wise, I have a very relevant con first up, is that this resort is extremely spread out. This is definitely the most walking I've ever done on a resort tour. I don't think it's just poor planning of my route, although maybe it was. Even at Caribbean Beach Resort, which has a ton of internal bus stops, and I stayed in one of the furthest rooms, it was only a 15-minute walk to the lobby. For some of the furthest rooms here, I think it's a 15 to 20-minute walk. It might even be higher depending on your pace. I keep getting lost, and the buildings don't have through puts, so if you want to go around to the other side of a building, you have to walk all the way around it. So I don't know, I'm not loving how spread out this resort is. Definitely a con. It's a beautiful walk, and I am a walker. I do enjoy walking, but it's just a lot of walking if you're not going to take the bus. Speaking of bus, besides that boat transportation to Disney Springs and the Port Orleans resorts, this resort is exclusively bus transportation. So you will be taking the bus to Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios. Everyone who stays at this resort is also going to be on those buses, and there are 5 internal stops. So that's a pretty big con. That makes travel times go up, whether there are wait times. Since this is such a large resort, there could be longer lines leaving and going to the theme parks at busy times. And then on top of that, you have to wait for everyone to board and get off at all 5 of the internal bus stops. And of course, this resort is expensive. It is many, many, many hundreds of dollars a night in most cases, even for the smallest room like the one we were in. And it's a pretty significant chunk of Disney Vacation Club points as well. Now, something to keep in mind is that if you are not a Disney Vacation Club member, you do have the option of renting Disney Vacation Club points from a DVC member who is not going to be using them. That can mean that you get pretty significant discounts on hotel rooms because you'll pay for these points. You'll rent the points that you need, which generally cost less than the room would cost out of pocket, and then you can book the room using a DVC member's points. We like to do this with a service called David's DVC Rentals. You can check them out. They are a great service to help you do this. I've done it in the past with my family, and it has been an awesome way to save a little and still get the size of room that we need. All right, this walk is so long that I am now sweaty. So that's great. But you know, our reward is a water slide, which I'll accept. All right, we've made it to the paddock pool area, which is our home pool. It does have this really awesome twirly-whirly water slide in a water tower. And there's also a dining location here. This is another of the larger pools here. It's got that big slide, it's got a whirlpool spa, and it has the paddock grill. The paddock grill is a pretty great amenity if you're spending some time in the paddock or if you're staying in the paddock. They've got lots of entrees and things for lunch and breakfast and dinner. Why did I say it in that order? That's a weird order to say things. They've got some specialty cocktails, some wine, plenty of drinks including coffee, good for me, and cereal and things like that. So it's a great spot to grab some snacks if you're having a nice pool day over here, or even if you just want to come grab something without heading all the way to the lobby if you're staying over here in the paddock. Molly and I should go to Wall Water Park again. She loves those. There's also a sweet little play area for kiddos over here, which is great. Very shallow pool, lots of fun buckets dumping water on kids. You know how they love that. There's guest laundry here, like you find at the other pools. And this is also where you'll find the bus stop for the paddock. All right, now we've got to get around to the grandstand to check out that last pool area. And I think that this is probably a pretty good opportunity for us to check out how long those internal stops take. Because we're here, and I believe we'll have to stop at Congress Park and the Springs before we get to the grandstand. So there is this really helpful key to the buses. Of course, there's transportation to the theme parks, to Disney Springs, and to Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon. And there's transportation over to the Treehouse Villas. You can see which bus stops get which locations. Theme parks go to all stops. Disney Springs goes to all stops. Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, you'll have to go to the Springs bus stop, but you can take the internal shuttle to get there. The Treehouse Villas are from the Springs bus stop. And to get around Saratoga Springs, you've got internal shuttle that stops at all of the bus stops. Internal shuttle or the Disney Springs bus will work for that. There's a caveat where the Disney Springs bus does go around the resort twice before heading off to Disney Springs. On its first lap around, you'll see that it displays the internal shuttle sign. And on its second lap around, you'll see that it displays the spring sign. So this bus here is going to take us around to the rest of the resort. So let's go ahead and hop on. That was really convenient timing. I was literally just talking about it. So it took me about 7.5 minutes to get 2 stops on the internal bus loop. So the full loop through all 5 internal bus stops would be about an added 20 minutes to your trip, not counting any extenuous loading times for people who have ECVs or wheelchairs or things like that. So just keep in mind that you're going to want to budget in an extra 20 minutes to your park travel time, going both to and from. Now the order that the buses go here at Saratoga Springs is that the first stop tends to be the grandstand, then the carousel, then the paddock, then Congress Park, and then the Springs before heading out. So, leaving from the Springs, you're gonna have the shortest bus ride. When you're leaving and coming back to the grandstand, you're gonna have the shortest bus ride. So just something to keep in mind. Those internal bus stops can be a bit of a bear. Now I know I said we're headed to the grandstand. I did of course get off at the Springs, and that's because we gotta walk on over to the grandstand since the Springs is the final stop for the buses unless you're taking that internal shuttle, which is currently in Disney Springs form. So, oh wait, actually it's not. It's right here. All right, I lied. So this bus, the Saratoga Springs buses are confusing. I've been confused all day. That bus was actually headed to just the tree houses, and it was not one of the internals. So, I think we'll walk. It's not too far. I haven't done enough walking today. This is my sarcasm face. Whoa, plot twist. So I thought there'd be a path from here leading to the grandstand. There's not. I have to go up by Carriage House, and it's kind of a cross. Okay, that's not too far. We can handle that. We can handle that, everybody. Let's go. You guys, as I walk away from the bus stop, I promise you I just saw the right internal shuttle pull up. So now I'm racing it. It's officially become a competition. Okay, our final section of the resort is the grandstand, and there is another really awesome pool over here. This pool has a really nice theme as well. It looks pretty different from the other two. Smaller pool, quieter. It does have its own pool bar with backstretch bar. Keep in mind that this spot is open seasonally. It does happen to be open today, so that's pretty cool, but just, it may not be open during your visit. Gonna have similar things to the other pool bars with your standard snacks and drinks. And it doesn't appear to be running today, but there is this cute little horse splash pad area as well. Grandstand pool also has a whirlpool spa. There are tons of hot tubs at this resort. And there's also another of those barbecue grill picnic areas over here too. So, that does it. We found the grandstand. We beat the internal shuttle in a foot race. Foot versus wheel race. So I feel pretty accomplished about that. Has anyone been keeping track of how many times that I've gotten lost or complained about walking today? Because that should give you an indication of how big and spread out and sprawling this resort is. I complain about walking a lot. I'll give you that. But this is a big resort. All right, there's exactly one way that I can think to end a good resort day at Saratoga Springs. And I have had a great resort day here at Saratoga Springs, and that's with a visit to Disney Springs for some lunch and some shopping. So let's do a little transpo experiment, see just how long that boat ride takes to get over to Disney Springs, and then I'm gonna leave you to go enjoy the wonders and splendors of Disney World's shopping and dining district. I cannot believe there's a secret snack stand here. I just heard boat honking. Am I gonna miss the boat? Oh, I'm totally missing the boat. Look at it leave me behind. Is this other boat coming immediately after this boat left? It's a blue flag. Yeah, look at that. I don't even have to wait. There's another boat here. Similar to the buses, this one does have kind of a changing route. So it does, I'm on the one that will go to the tree houses, then back here to Disney Springs. I could have caught it when it was headed straight to Disney Springs, which I'm sure that last one was. But I love a boat ride. So let's see how long this takes, and I can clock the just straight Saratoga Springs to Disney Springs route too. What resort tours you'd like to see. I am happy to go stay and explore for your benefit so that you know everything you want to know about your trip. You can also follow us on social media at All Ears Net if you're looking for more tips and antics, because you know you'll get both. Alright, so I'm pulling back into Saratoga about 12 minutes after I pulled away from the dock. The driver here just let me know that this is sort of their new schedule that they're doing, and that in most cases you're gonna catch one or the other. Still probably better to get on the first boat that leaves, even if it is headed to the tree houses, because you might still beat the boat coming back and heading to Saratoga Springs depending on the schedule. So 12 minutes down, we're back at Saratoga Springs. We'll see how long it would be if you did get on the one that was headed straight to Springs. All right, I just got dropped on the farm marketplace side of Disney Springs, and my wait wasn't too long. All right, my boat ride was 7 minutes from Saratoga Springs straight to here, and 25 minutes in total with that detour down to the tree houses and back. Super nice. Honestly, I don't even mind a long boat ride because the boat rides are so pleasant in Disney World, but I've now arrived at Disney Springs. All right, well, I've got some shopping and dining to do, so I'm gonna leave you guys here. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and head on over to check out my Port Orleans French Quarter tour for more. Bye! Want more All Ears videos? Click here. And want to subscribe? You can do that right here. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Thanks for watching today. We'll see you real soon.